So what we wanted you to do, yeah, essentially, I mean, we wanted you to not do fractional minutes, for example, because we wanted minutes and seconds as opposed to 3.2 minutes. You know, we wanted 3 minutes and whatever 2/10 of a 3 minutes and 12 seconds or something like that. Yeah. Modulo. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, so it won't give you the wrong number. It will give you the number of whole. It truncates. Yeah, well, you need to maintain the remainder as well, right? Because the answer is the integer number times how many times it appears, 60 seconds per minute times, there's an exact, it's not giving you the wrong answer. You just have to maintain it differently. But as long as your answer's matched on homework 1, you should be fine. Okay, so yeah, so it's the short answer is, I don't want you getting in the habit of thinking that integer math is incorrect. Integer math has a defined format, and that format is to truncate. And when, well, hold on just a second, okay? The format is to truncate, so it gives you the whole number, a whole number, and you can always, if you have a, let me come in here for a second. If you have 123 / 10 is 12, 123 modulo 10 is 3, right? That is the same as 12 times 10 plus 3 is 123. So it's all, the integer math is exact. It's just you have to understand what it's doing. Okay? Yes. Sean? Shane. I saw it pop up, but that was too fast. Yeah, go ahead. No, I have it. It's being recorded on my OBS, but I appreciate that somebody posted it in the thing, in the window. Please remind me as often as possible, because if I do forget, you guys can't see it. Let me know so I don't. But yeah, it's on OBS. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so as long as you sent us the stuff, she has it saved away, and if we make a mistake, we'll correct it. But yeah, she'll contact you. If she doesn't contact you by Tuesday by Tuesday of next week, then please reach out to us again. But I expect that we'll have it by that point, or we'll have let you know what's going to happen. But yeah. So if you send it to, if you look at our front page, I'm going there now. If you're watching your screen, if you come in and you go to here, this is all the emails for all the TAs and the mentors. But if you're going to send it to Cheyenne, send it to the CS1 instructors at cs.list.app, because that'll go to all of us, and that way, if there's any issues, if she's on vacation or something like that, Professor Mushtak and I will both get it, and we can make sure that it gets in the right hands. Okay, you're welcome. Oh, God bless you. That almost came through my headphones. I was worried about getting sick. I don't really think I could have. It's not a computer virus, right? Go ahead. Thank you. Got to get one out every semester. All right, thanks. Hi. So that is a hard question because we give it to the TAs and they can vary a little bit in what they expect. What I'm hoping you will do is pretty much what I did. Like this is perfectly fine, right? What we want is we want what it does, what it returns, and this should actually say, what I would probably put in here is given the input radius, something like that. Yeah, so what we want identified is we want what it does. Sorry, I'm trying to highlight this and I was on the wrong button. We want what it does. We want what it returns. And we want what the input variables are. Okay, and that's generally pretty much, if you handle that, you can do other things. I mean, you can use the kite fill in, that nice block that they do. That's wonderful. It's a little formal for me, and it's not compact enough to show on the screen very well. So I don't necessarily prefer that, but it's certainly allowed. Yeah. So if you stick with this, you'll be in pretty good shape. Okay. You're welcome. Sure. So, everything I'm doing is in this users WestTU class directory, right? So all a module is it's a bunch of stuff. Seriously, it's like I could put in I don't know, Sonic equals hedgehog. And I have no idea why I came up with that. Into here as well. And all it is it's a Python file that gets saved off into, if you save it into the same directory, that's the preferred way of doing it right now. So I'm developing my code in this directory. I have my module in this directory, right? We can come in and look at my class directory. Right here is the module, right? And this is where I'm actually running right now. So as I'm, let's see if I do dir, does that work? Yeah, not good. I'm not seeing a good way to show you that I'm running in that directory, but this is running in this directory as well. It runs in wherever we have this set up for. So as long as I do that, whatever I put in here is going to show up here. So I can do import Lecture07 area, and notice this is just the name of the file, right, minus the .py extension, right, Lecture07 _ area .py. And as long as I do that, it'll import it. And now I can do something like Lecture07 area .circle, right, which is just a function I wrote, 8, and that'll give me the area of a circle of radius 8. So all you have to do is anything you put in a Python file becomes available as a module. And we'll talk a little bit about some better ways to do this going forward to kind of add test code and expand upon this. But that's all you really need to do. And I think if I do, I may have to force it to reload, but I think this may actually reload. Okay, so I have definitions in here, functions in here. I have a string that I set up in here. The definitions are still here, right? That's calling this circle function, Lecture07, file name, _ area, dot, then the function I want to call. And then if I want to look at variables that I have set up, it's Lecture07 _ area, dot, and then the variable name. Okay? Trying to think of when the first time we'll have you do this. It's coming up. Would do this all the time. So we, when we get into some object-oriented stuff and some classes, what we'll do is we'll have you put every class you write in its own file. But if I was doing, if I were to ask you to do a I could ask you to do exactly this. Put this in a file and then write another program that calls it to do your homework. Like I could do. Let's see. Let me pop over here. I'm going to steal something from another page. Right, we could very well ask you to do something like this. Write a module called Lecture07 area.py that has a bunch of area functions in it. Maybe you would ask you to include the area of a rectangle or the area of a square cube, maybe a square, hexahedron, a cubic prism. Maybe we would ask you to expand on this and then ask you to write some code that calls it. Right, so this would be the code that calls it. You notice it's in the same directory, users, westhue, class. And if we run this, this will actually go in, import the Lecture07 code we wrote, and then actually execute the functions. So, we will be asking you to do this fairly quickly. I think we give you a lab on it first. In fact, I would be surprised if we didn't. We generally always give you a lab before you have to do it. So if you have any other questions, you can do it. You can ask them then. But okay, you're welcome. Hello. Yes. Yep. Yep. Okay. So what you want to do is we don't sell quarter gumballs, right? So if I want to be able to hold at least 1.25 gumballs, right, what's the next highest whole number? Right. So that's, yeah. Yeah. You're welcome. Yep. Yeah. I'm sorry. We tried to answer everybody, and we answered them over and over again. We missed a couple of people that I noticed that I answered it a couple of times at like midnight or 10 after midnight. Sorry about that. Yeah. That's why I want you guys to check it. It's just because we're doing the best we can, and there's just particularly when the question gets asked over and over again, we know that the answer's out there, and we're trying to follow up with you guys, and it's just impossible to keep up with you. So I'm sorry if we got it to you late. Yeah. 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 Yeah, let me show you something. You're already in a late day, right? Okay, so you've got till 11:59 tonight to fix this, and it's not that hard. So let me just show you something. What's your name? Tyler. No? Tyler? Okay, so this is your input file. Let's see if this works. I can't remember what I had set up before. And let's do, and this thing is being a pain in the neck. Let's get this a little bit smaller. Then it goes to full size again. Come on, do what I want you to do. Okay, so if we run IO, right? So this is how you would run it. This is a command line, right? And you can think of this as the submitting machine. So what we want to do is we want to run your file and there's input. So we'll do something like, this is all the file says. It asks for the name as input, and then it prints out hello, whatever the name is. So if I go Tyler, and I have to return, this is what it looks like. The problem is we don't have people sitting on submittee running these. We actually have to run them automatically. So what we do instead is we put in a text file the answers to all the input questions. And I just jerked out my, I talk with my hands, which is really not all that useful when we're every now and then I jerk my cord out. All right, so io.text just has your name in it. It's exactly the same as what I answered up here. So if I do Python I can do this little thing like that, and then I can do io.text. And what that'll do is it'll take the input from the file io.text and pass it in whenever it's asking for input. So it's going to take that Tyler that I wrote in there, and when test.py asks for input, it's going to give it Tyler. And if I had multiple lines, the next time it read an input, it would put in the next one. And that didn't work because it's not what... Oh, I did test.py, io.py I want to do. Okay, right, so I'm running the same file now. So it's got this prompt in there. It's going to ask for the name, and then it's going to say hello, whomever. Tyler in this case, right? Well, here's my name prompt. And because I didn't enter this by hand, I didn't get the /n to bring it down here, right? So instead of looking like this, name, Tyler, hello, Tyler, it says name, colon, and then the hello, Tyler. This is an artifact of running the code the way we have to run it in order to test everybody. So it's not a problem with submittee, it's a indication, right? The problem is that you can't tell what input we did. So if there's an issue, if you've made a mistake, if the output isn't coming out the way you want it, you have no indication from this what we were asking for, right? What question what answer did we give that made your program bomb? So what we ask you to do instead is we ask you to, and by the way, this is in the submission guidelines, and it's also answered in the discussion forum at some point if you search for it. I think it's 99 maybe, but I'm not positive. If I do vim io.py, right, what we actually ask you to do is we ask you to take input, immediately echo it back, and then if you were if you were inputting an integer or something like that, then convert it to int, float, etc. You don't have to do it for string because all input from a input statement is a string. It comes in as a character string. So notice there's no conversion here to integers, no conversion to floats, just straight take it in, put it in a string variable, print it out, and then afterward, if there's a conversion that needs to be done, do the conversion. And if you do this, what you get is something that looks like that. Okay, now if you run it on your console, you'll get something that looks like that with an extra little tiler down there, right? But we think that this is better than not being able to see the input that we're using to test your program. Okay, so what we want you to do is every time you take input from input from the command line, we want you to immediately echo it back out. Okay, so what you're doing is you're doing this, but you're not doing this. And if you do that, it should fix the rest of that, especially if your code is working beyond that initial couple of lines. Okay, and that it is in the discussion forum. It was answered a couple of times. If you look for submission guidelines or something, I don't remember exactly what it. I found it there pretty easily. But that's why it's really important to kind of keep up with it, because there are a lot of them that go out. One of the things we're having a meeting with our TAs today, and one of the things I want them to do is to help us keep this organized. But let's see. Here we go. It's in thread 99. Yeah, I'm good. Okay, so if you look up there, that'll help you out. But that's what the issue is. Okay, you're welcome. Someone else? But you want to wait a minute? Did you wanted to do a private discussion? Yeah. So is anybody else